So, Emmanuel Macron is not too happy with the UK government and Boris Johnson. With everything that's been going on with the battle of fisheries and the illegal migration from Calais to Dover, and now quarantine. The British government obviously now has a list of countries that they've added for if you travel there or if you come from there, you have to quarantine for 2 weeks. France is one of them. The French are very sensitive. They're very offended because the UK government didn't give them enough notice in advance. So Macron is now kicking off. And these are all excuses, by the way, and we'll tell you exactly why towards the end of the video, because he's now retaliating. He's not happy about the way the UK government have managed the communication with him. He wanted a personal call, probably, from Priti Patel or Boris Johnson. So what he's decided to do is that, in a very childish move, as we said, people coming from France have to quarantine for 2 weeks. He's actually keeping the Brits there for 2 weeks before they leave. So that's 4 weeks of quarantine. So if you want to leave France now, his plan is to basically keep the Brits in France, in their hotels or campsites or whatever, for 2 weeks. You're not allowed to go anywhere. And then afterwards, they send you to the airport, send you back to the UK, and then you have to stay at home here for another 2 weeks. That's a month for people. And this is absolutely mental. The way it's going, so this is, tit for tat. Brits heading to France face 2-week quarantine when they arrive as the French vow to force self-isolation in retaliation. Childish. It makes no sense because it has nothing to do with what's happening with the lockdown. These are all excuses. Macron and his government are not happy with the way we're handling the Brexit negotiations with the fisheries. He's also not happy with the way the UK government are now being forced by Nigel Farage to tackle the migrant crisis, the illegal migrant issue coming from Dover, from Calais to Dover. So that's one problem. And this is why this guy is actually kicking off. So if brought in, it will mean that anyone who does have to travel to France will face being unable to go to the shops or visit restaurants when they get there. And anybody visiting France will face 2 weeks quarantine when they arrive, and another 2 weeks on the other end. So imagine if let's just say you booked 2 weeks holiday in France. When you get there, the whole 2 weeks you have to stay in your hotel. You can't even go to a shop, and then that's it. You're gonna have to come back, and then you have to quarantine in the UK. This is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. And I know some people say, why would you even travel during this time? But that's irrelevant. What if someone has to go to France? Maybe for work. And so this is the threat that he decided to come up with. It's because he's also not happy about with Priti Patel and her comments the other day. So they asked Priti Patel why she thinks that a lot of illegal migrants are coming to the UK from France, and she said that probably because France is not a great place and they don't feel comfortable being there, especially based on their skin color. And looking for work in France is difficult because of discrimination. Others claim that they fear being tortured if they stayed in France or Germany. And so her comments stoked anger in Paris, with one politician from Macron's party saying that, obviously these hateful claims are not healthy in politics, and but this woman seems to spread them all the time. And another MP who's part of the Republican Party in France has told the Mail on Sunday that Priti Patel has caused a lot of upset already with absurd and untrue claims about our forces not stopping immigrant boats. He's claiming that they're trying their best, and Priti Patel is lying that the French authorities are not doing their job. Well, who's telling the truth? We don't actually know, but I'm guessing it's not the French authorities, because there is an agreement in place. They were supposed to stop these boats, but they're escorting them to the UK. That's clear. And the border force, with all the problems, they are at least stopping some. No one's talking about that. They are still returning some of these boats. It's just that, they're bringing in the majority because the whole system is absolutely crazy. The complacency within Home Office and border force has been a big problem. That's why we just made a video early on at 5:45 where I talked about how Nigel Farage's latest video yesterday on Sunday has finally had an impact. Home Office, Priti Patel has forced Home Office to change policy on this issue of, especially when it comes to Serco and the hotels, the 4-star hotels that are keeping these illegal migrants in. Obviously, this is an ongoing issue, but Macron is being a child and he knows it. Now it's Monday, so we have a lot of questions that we received from the members of the channel. If you want to become a member, check out the link in the description or just go on youtube.com/mytc/join. Now let's go to the first question. John Francis says, when will we finally leave the, I can't say the word, EU, something EU? It just seems to go on forever, the negotiations. Can't we just walk away with no deal? Well, no, because it's not really going on forever. It's a transition period was always going to be about a year, 11 to 12 months. And we left the EU end of January, and the transition period will end of December. It does feel like it's been decades, I know. But no, it's only been 7-8 months. I know. So only a couple of months left to go, and then that's it. We're out. And then at that point, the way things are going, it's probably going to be no deal unless both sides calm down and actually sign a normal free trade deal without any political alignment. John says, hi Maya, I have become a member this week. Thank you. Welcome to the membership club, John. What's the deal with the BBC license fee? Due to the charter, is it compulsory that I have to buy a license? And what is happening with all the pensioners now? No, so I mean, yeah, with the over 75s and 70s, obviously we have the BBC still trying to force them to pay. The government have told them to change their policy, and otherwise they'll fund it. That's a whole different saga. But it's not the BBC charter. Actually, you don't have to pay. If you're not watching the BBC, legally speaking, you don't have to pay. That's all it is. That's why a lot of people are cancelling the license. But again, it's a personal choice. And if you're not really a fan of the BBC, then don't watch it. And don't pay the license fee. Next question from Duncan. Again, on the same topic, I'm getting increasingly annoyed and frustrated that the BBC has not been defunded yet. I get the feeling that there's no resolve within the establishment to deal with this irrelevant institution. Well, I mean, this whole topic of reforming the not the NHS, that's the next thing. The BBC has only been going on since Boris became PM. And the reform that the government have been talking about is to change the structure of the payments and either turn into a subscription-based system or with ads. And the reason that nothing's happened completely yet is because politicians and governments are slow. Whether it's what's happened, well, look at Brexit, look at the reforms that we've had within other institutions, look at the migrant issue with Dover. The Home Office released a statement yesterday, finally, that they are reviewing it. Look at Donald Trump in America. He said he'll build a wall. 2016, still going on. It's because this is a cycle of politics. Politicians, bureaucracy, everything takes ages. A simple letter will take 2 weeks. A tweet takes about 2 hours to be approved, to be sent. So that's the problem. But I think the Tory government are obviously feeling the pressure from the backbenchers to actually do something about the BBC. So we'll see how that goes. I'll believe it when I see it. Marion says, what do you think about Priti Patel's comments on France not being a safe country for illegal migrants, and that only the people of color will be considered to work in their Home Office? Yes, the second one was a very woke policy of the coming out of the Home Office with this whole virtue signaling, identity politics, and it's idiotic. I do not support that, what Priti Patel said a few weeks ago on that issue. But in terms of her comments, which we just showed earlier about France, that definitely angered the French. I don't know. I don't actually have the details on how asylum seekers are being treated in France, so I'm not going to actually comment on that. But I know France, well, I know that at least, let's just spin it positively. The UK is a more of a tolerant society and country than the rest of Europe. That's all I can say. Jacob says, hi Maya, is there going to be a demonstration against Sadiq Khan? Well, hopefully not. Right-wingers don't protest. We don't do street marches. That's a left-wing thing, because it doesn't work. When was the last time we actually saw a protest actually working? What we do is we campaign, and we raise awareness. We do a lot of, obviously, rallies and speeches, different, obviously. Remember the Brexit Party rallies? That's different. You gather support that way. Street protests never work. It makes the people involved feel good about it, but that's, it's my opinion. I just go with the facts that we've had historically, unless it's an issue of civil liberties or some sort of injustice that we've already fixed most of them on a legal level. So not really. I mean, with Sadiq Khan, it's called democracy. You start a campaign and you raise awareness, and then when the election comes, you vote against them. That's the plan. We'll keep you guys posted on that, because there might be other things we could do. I'll definitely planning to start a campaign against Sadiq Khan in London to raise awareness. We'll have rallies and speeches and things like that. Bernardo, do you think that our government's decision to make people who now visit France have to quarantine for 2 weeks was taken in retaliation to Macron demanding £30 million to stop the boats? No, I don't think so, only because I don't think our government are very good at playing poker in that sense. France was just part of the list of a number of countries, and cases are going up in France. So that's the only reason. I don't think the government is that smart to think about that. But Macron actually doing the extra 2 week thing is quite obvious why he's doing that. Nicholas says, Nicholas Pearson, hi Maya, I became a member this week. Welcome to the membership club, Nicholas. My question is, do you think that somewhere within the government there is something at play allowing the migrant boats to come across the channel on purpose, I'm guessing? Yeah, so yeah. I mean, there is definitely an element of complacency within people who work as bureaucrats in the Home Office, Border Force. I don't think that politicians have any incentive to actually do this on purpose. That's why they now feel the pressure because of democracy and the electorate. So now Priti is now being forced to change her mind on that. So, well, at least act on it, finally. But no, I don't think there's any conspiracy. I don't really do conspiracy theories unless you bring me evidence, not based on someone said something or someone found a document somewhere. Kay Dyer says, the question arises yet again. Nigel has made yet another video in Priti Patel's own constituency. Why is our government remaining so weak on this issue? So yes, that's a good question. And again, if you guys haven't seen, I just posted a video on this at 5:45, just before this video. So make sure to check it out. I'll put the link up here somewhere. You could click on it. And yeah, I think Nigel's video on Priti's constituency had a massive impact. That's why, again, watch the video. The reaction from the Home Office is absolutely brilliant. They finally felt that fear, and they released a statement saying, we are now going to have to change the whole operation, guys, because Nigel keeps releasing videos and it's embarrassing us. So yeah, make sure to watch that video to find out exactly what's happened. And thanks again for all the members for sending all the questions. As I said, if you want to become a member, we are actually about to announce. So tomorrow, I'm going to make an announcement about the channel. We're going to make a lot of changes. We're going to get you guys more involved, especially members, but everybody too, don't worry. This is a benefit for everyone. We're going to have a proper schedule, a daily show. I'll release it and I'll let you guys know how it goes. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Always subscribe. Click on the bell next to it. I'm MayaTC. I'll see you guys in the next video.